All right, here is this ancient antiphon that I was talking about. It comes from the 3rd century. I've written it up here in Latin because part of what we want to do is look at the actual structure of the text to show us what the antiphon is singing about in the first place. Okay, you might get hints already from the fact that this this antiphon was written to be sung during the Christmas season. So on Christmas Eve, on Christmas Day, on the Feast of the Purification of Mary, and in between those two, the Feast of the Circumcision of Christ. All right, so the English, I can tell you, is oh, marvelous or wondrous exchange, okay, that the creator of man took up a living body, okay, or became man, from a virgin, or was deigned to be born of a virgin, proceeding from man without seed, and bestowed upon us his divinity. Maybe you can't see so well while I'm sitting here in front of it. Okay, but what is the structure of this? Obviously, this is one sentence. I've broken it in half, and then this is the next, and I've broken it in half, and then this is the third phrase, and I've broken it in half. Same for the last line. Now, if you notice, the way that the structure is, we have the things that talk about Christ's divinity here, right? So the creator of the humankind from a virgin, right? This miraculous birth, without seed, again, the miraculous birth, and his divinity. So the things in this antiphon that speak about Christ's divinity are here. Okay? So what do we have left? Took up a human body, right, that he deigned to be born, proceeding from man, right, he had a mother, and that he bestowed upon us his divinity. These are the human things about the incarnation. Okay, so the antiphon itself, the structure, right, that which we sing about is this commerce that happened between the human and the divine in the incarnation. The fact that it's called a commerce or an exchange, right, that there's an actual exchange of goods here between humanity and divinity, is what is striking and what I want us to take away from this idea. You would even think of this as an embrace, right, because this is what we heard about from Bernard and the song. And we're going to hear about an embrace from Dante too. Okay, but the idea of this commerce or of this exchange or this embrace between humanity and divinity that's in the incarnation, this is what Francis recognizes, right? He sees that there's this loving exchange that happens between God and humankind, between God and all of creation in the incarnation, right? In the incarnation, God embraces humanity and goes so far as to show his love for creation, for humankind, in his death. So he pours out everything for his creation, right? That's the price he has paid. So that's why the language of commerce is interesting here. That the worth, the value of creation, the value of the human being is the life, is the blood of Christ, is the blood of God. So this is, we could also say, the evangelical poverty of God, right? The way he expresses his poverty, the pouring out of everything, of love, of his life for his creation. And it's a voluntary poverty, right? The kind of poverty that Francis wishes us to embrace, okay? So that's how we know that this poverty for Francis, this way of life, this evangelical poverty, is not just about only having 2 tunics and not touching money and begging. That's part of being lesser, right? It's part of the expression of welcoming this embrace, of entering into this embrace, of imitating it as literally as possible. If God did this exchange, right, if he pours out his whole life, if it becomes poor in that way for all of creation, then it is right that all of creation should be in solidarity in their praise of God. And that a life of evangelical poverty, radical evangelical poverty, right to the root, would be this attempt that Francis shows of a very literal imitation of Christ, right? Of the one who became incarnate and of the one who voluntarily became so minor, so lesser, so in need of mercy, so happy to express the value of creation.